There we go. My chat was disabled for a minute there. I like this music. My brother made this playlist, turning it up on my headphones. All right, the first thing I got to do. I think my brother's live right now. All right, severe weather coverage. Hold on. See if he notices me. It's me, your brother. I might have to message him on TikTok. Let's see.
It's earlier, guys, as well. And it's going to rain. I was talking about this earlier, guys, as well. Excessive rainfall threat. This is serious. This is where you get really serious flash flooding. And Wichita, anyone in chat from Wichita, Wichita does not need any more rainfall. I swear, every time there's an excessive rainfall forecast, Wichita is involved. Let's look at our daily rainfall expectancy. Okay, this is wrong. That's not our day one. Wait, what am I in?
Hey, how's it going?
Excessive rainfall.
Like, that's a great name.
Well, this is just.
Sorry, I'm watching my brother's stream because I'm trying to get his attention. Hold on.
Okay, well.
Connor's Climate Corner. If you like weather, this is the channel, man. Streams every day. He's the best. Hold on a second.
This is a moderate. One second, guys.
Might have to text him.
At least a 40% chance of excessive rainfall out there. Yeah, and then we've got this up here in PA as well. PA, portions of northern West Virginia, eastern Ohio, Maryland, northern Virginia. Tulsa's gonna get. Tulsa's gonna see the chance for some pretty strong winds tonight with this weather moving through. So this
All right, I know what I need to do.
Expected to consolidate, push out to the south and east, and with it pack potentially 70, 80 plus mile per hour gusts and some hail. Not impossible for a tornado to be embedded. That's why you are in a tornado watch. But this is a wind-driven threat.
How's it going? If anyone just joined, I'm just watching my brother's stream for a second here. Oh, there he is.
What is going on? DJ the Collector.
Now I let him know I'm watching his stream on mine.
I had Riley in here earlier. My other brother. Now my older brother's in here. How will Alta, Iowa be tonight? And you guys are looking fine. Look at you. You got some thunder showers. You got some thunder showers tonight. Far southern.
All right, I know what I need to do here. Hold on.
Tonight, going into day 2, you guys are looking good too. General thunderstorms with the marginal down to the southeast, Burlington up towards Davenport, but not looking too bad. You guys have had much worse days.
I gotta send him this thumbnail.
I saw Kansas City has a 2% tour chance. Yeah, I I would give it less than a 2% tonight, but we'll see. Most of this
All right.
battle is going to be to the south.
If there's anyone in here, which I'm not sure if there even is right now, go watch Connor's Climate Corner if you want to get the weather. All right. He's busy. On to this stuff. What are we doing today? Let's see. I want to get ready for the con, so I'm going to be looking at the comics in my collection. I'm going to be talking about some of the... Let's see. I'm going to talk about some of the comics I haven't shown on here on the channel for a while, and I may want to take another look at the Fantastic Four trailer and just give my thoughts on that. Although I kind of did that in another stream, I don't think anyone watched anyway, so I may do that again today. How are my levels right now? Let me grab this. All right, so I just want to talk about how I'm preparing for this convention that's coming up soon, because a lot of the comic books that I show on this channel and my shorts and stuff, I get at this comic book convention in Charlotte that I go to every year. It's called Heroes Con, and I spend a lot of money there. I do hunt for comics at different places, antique stores, and there's actually a really good shop for like Silver Age comics and like Keys that's in Charlotte that I go to, and I get books there all the time. It's called Central City Comics. But I fill up a lot of a box with stuff that I get at this con, and I'm spending a little bit less money than I have in years past at this at the con this year, just because I'm doing other things. But I spend a lot of time figuring out what comic books I'm going to hunt for, and what price range I want those comic books to be in. And so I thought I'd just come on stream and just talk about the kind of comics I'm looking for and what I think has value right now, what I think is, kind of cool for me to be looking for, and why I like those comics in particular. Also, I got this really awesome Loki thing on my head that I think is pretty cool. That we were thinking about wearing. Like, I think my wife might wear this to the con, because she loves Loki, and she has like a Loki shirt, a Loki bag. She's gonna wear this. So I thought I'd throw this on for the stream. And for the thumbnail, I had on this Loki hat, the Loki horns. I had these going. And it had the Wolverine claws. Maybe if I just like stay like this for a little while and just like let people like find this stream, and maybe they'll wonder what the hell I'm doing. Or maybe I just look like a crazy person. I don't know. Welcome in. Come. Comic books, Pokemon cards. How's it going, Giovanni? Do you like my Wolverine claws? No? All right, see you later. Oh my God, having all that stuff on is like... It's very disorienting. All right, let's get the music going again. All right. I was looking at something really cool today. Let's see. I could open 3 packs real quick. Yeah, I guess I could open 3 packs real quick. Yeah, let me open a couple Pokemon cards. I've got these 3 right here. Oh, and I gotta re-angle my my camera a little bit. Sometimes this thing gets... There we go. Angled wrong. All right. I've got 3 packs. I'm going to open these up real quick just to kind of start the stream, even though I haven't been doing anything for like the last few minutes. We got these at a card show recently. Destined Rivals. To me, I don't like. I know there's some hype around this set, but it's not as much as like the black and white set that's coming out soon, or you know, obviously Prismatic Evolutions and stuff. But I still think the, you know, the scalpers have really ran up the price on this thing, and it's, you know, I still think that they're charging too much for this. They were like at the card show I was at, they were charging. Look, is it all the same pack art? But yeah, they were charging like $7 a piece or $7.50 a piece for these packs, which I just think is for like this set to have just come out. I think that's a little bit too much, honestly. But whatever. Let's open these real quick. Oh, hold on. We gotta get the close-up shot here. I have a good feeling. I want to pull something big here. Yeah, with Pinsir. I've always liked Pinsir as a Pokemon. I thought it was always kind of a cool design. Team Rocket. Roller. Oh, I got the Greedent. Hey, we'll take it. Pulls. I'll take him any way I can get him. That's awesome. Is that... This isn't like an... Oh, now I gotta look up the set real quick, because I don't think that card has any value, but... I want TCG. I want TCG. And Destined Rivals, price guide. All right. Okay, here we go. Where's the Greedent? Way down. All right, it's not worth anything. But you know what, though? It's a pull. I'm only opening 3 packs of Destined Rivals right now. Stop shaking, camera. And I already got 1 hit. That's pretty great. Let's keep it moving. Rotom. I think Rotom's a cool, kind of a cool idea for a Pokemon. I like how it has all the different forms, you know, and you can get and they're all electric, right? So this is like the water / electric type. Oh, I guess it's electric in the game, but maybe not. It's just water. It looks like in the TCG. All right. I'm trying to watch through Pokemon again. There's a place that has all of the seasons and all of the episodes. And it's just that the old, nothing on that one, the old show, you know, is so targeted at kids that I think it's a little bit like, I just feel like the latest stuff that's coming out with Pokemon is probably a little bit easier to watch for an adult than the older stuff. But I don't want to skip anything important in the old stuff, you know, so I want to watch through that stuff. It's just that, you know, the episodes are very like predictable, and you know, I'm still at the point where it's like every episode has Team Rocket, and it kind of progresses the same way. And when you're not a kid, it doesn't have the same magic. But at the same time, I don't want to like skip anything important in the series, you know? So I'm trying to watch my way through it. It's just taking me a lot of time. This is our last one of the day. Well, maybe I'll open some more. You know, maybe I'll open a few, some more packs here in a minute. But this is the last of the Destined Rivals that I'm going to open right now. Roselia. Come on. Just give me something. Give me something. Give me something. Ah, that's kind of a dope Blaziken. But it's not a pull. All right, well, It's kind of cool. There's the giant there's the greeted raid you can do in Sword and Shield, where you have to keep like knocking into the tree, and all of a sudden it summons like a giant greeted, which I didn't know about before I did this. I just said like there has to be a reason this giant tree is here, and I saw you can like bump it or something, you know, and so I just did it a bunch of times, and I was really surprised when it actually like started like an event in Sword and Shield. I was like, oh my god, there is actually a hidden thing here. So, I mean, it's not that hidden, but let me look back at these. Look back at this set. It's weird that it reloads when you change the size. Oh, this is really laggy. Listed medium price $471. Honestly, I think the Garchomp's cooler. And the Ho-Oh, man, the Ho-Oh is definitely, damn. Of those three cards, I want the Ho-Oh the most. Moltres is pretty cool. I feel like it's been a while since we had a really cool Moltres card, so that's cool. And then what is this? Oh, pre-release. This is like a staff pre-release card. Wow, that's interesting. Typhlosion. When we need to get a really cool Typhlosion card, like an SIR Typhlosion. It's another staff one, pre-release staff. Damn, I'd be a little disappointed though. Like, I assume pre-release staff means this is a card given out to like Pokemon employees. They couldn't make it like full art, you know? It's just like a regular card with like kind of shiny borders. I don't know. This one's great, man. My wife loves this one, and we have this other one. It goes nicely with this one that we have the extended border for, which I think is pretty cool. So this person, I don't know how they do it exactly, but I guess the company or whatever makes these like borders that extend the art of the Pokemon card in like the style of the card, and we bought this, like it came like this, and I think these are pretty cool. It does add so much more to it because it makes it such a bigger image, and they really match the art really well. All right, I gotta put my hat back on. Oh, that's so much more comfortable. All right. So yeah, I was looking at a really cool list on here. Oh, by the way, my wife went through, and you can kind of ignore this value, this 10K. She put in all of like the key issues in my collection and into Key Collector. It was 442 books, and she did it like while I was working yesterday. I can't believe it. It took her like all day actually. So it was pretty amazing that she did the whole thing. And this value I don't think is right at all, because she put all the comic books in as mid tier. Some of them are low and some of them are high. So this $10,000 estimation of what my collection is worth. Now let's also remember this doesn't include the omnibuses and a lot of other things. This is, I don't even know how to describe this number. I think this is probably low for what my collection's worth. I think it's more around 15 or 20. I don't know, because the graded books make it go up a lot. Anyway, though, these are all the books that are in my collection that she not by relevance, I'll say by name, and she actually entered them all in here. So like these are books I've talked about before, like this one. This is like First Mary Jane, and this one's like and Second Rhino. This one's Third Rhino. Oh, what was this one? This is just an awesome John Romita Sr. Kingpin cover that I think is really cool. So yeah, this is all. It's really cool to see my whole collection like actually in here. And some of these books have a lot of value, but like I said, she put them all in as mid-grade. So like this one in mid-grade is worth 160. Actually, mine might be 160. But anyway, I was on Key Collector and they had a list here that I was liking, and it was like the Copper Age, 100 Copper Age keys. Because I'm trying to figure out what I'm hunting for at the con, and I think this is a really good place to start. So the Copper Age is, it goes Golden Age, right, which was like Superman, and there was like the Human Torch was one of the Marvel characters that was around in Namor. There's a Golden Age Captain America. There's Batman in the Golden Age. But then you had the Silver Age, which was like Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and Flash, and the X-Men and all that stuff. Then you had the Bronze Age. Had all the same characters. Some people don't like the Bronze Age that much. I thought it was great. I'm reading my Justice League Bronze Age Omnibus, which I think is pretty good. But then you had kind of an unofficial age, which is the Copper Age of comics, which is what they're calling this, 100 Copper Age keys. And is it Copper Age or is it just 80s? Like, it's like mid 80s to early 90s is really what this is. Are these in order by date? So yeah, I'm guessing this is going to go into like, see, there's two pages. So it goes to 91, it looks like. And it looks like they are in order by date. So this is like mid 80s to early 90s, like, the quote unquote Copper Age of comics. I've got some stuff up here from that age, I think. What's in the 80s? This is 90s. This is 90s. That's, I guess, maybe Spawn 1. You consider that. I moved around some of the books here. I put this one in up. Oops. I put this one here because this is one of my favorite graded books that I have, and it was up off to the side here. You couldn't see it, so I'm kind of trying to rotate some different comics into my background. I got to get some more graded books though. I don't have that many graded books. I have mostly raw. It's just so much easier to collect raw books. You can get them for such a better price. Anyway. All right. Let me drink some more coffee. How's it going, Megan? All right, so this one I have, and this is what's cool now is that it'll tell me when I have the book already. So this is the first appearance of Lobo, which is interesting because that looks like Lobo, but it also doesn't look like Lobo. It almost looks like Metamorpho. So I don't know if that's supposed to be Lobo there on the cover, but I don't know anything about Lobo. And if you've watched this channel before, I talk about the fact that like I don't collect comic books just because I know that other people say they're cool. Like other people say Lobo is really cool, and I can accept that, but I haven't read anything with Lobo in it. so and I've read a lot of comics, but that's not to say there aren't a lot of really cool Lobo stories. It's just that I personally don't have a lot of experience reading that character. Oh, he's shown up in stuff I've read, but I haven't read any like Lobo series. There's like a Lobo compendium, which I don't have in my collection. So for me, it's it's not something I'm going to try to collect. So cool book, but not for me. I have this one. This is awesome. First appearance of Beta Ray Bill. And yeah, that's really cool. It's a cool one to have too. It's actually up on my wall over there. Actually, you know, I'm going to go grab it. I can show a couple comic books too, I guess. So here it is. And what's the creative team on this book? Oh, it's Walter Simonson, and Walter Simonson did the art and he wrote it. I love it when creators can do both the art and the writing, like Jack Kirby or like John Byrne, Todd McFarlane. Even though like his first Spider-Man, his first writing wasn't, you know, not that many people liked that one, but people like Spawn and stuff like that. So it's cool when you have a creator that's actually good enough to do. Excuse me, I'm shaking my camera. Yeah, it's cool when you have a creator that's good enough to do everything, because then they can really deliver their vision, I think. Advertisement for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1984. That's interesting. First appearance of the Fugitoid. As of November 2023, only 5 CGC copies have ever been publicly sold. To date, there are only 23 copies on the census. Wow. That's I have no idea what's going on with that, but I love the Ninja Turtles, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna skip some of these that just I don't care about, and then you know, obviously Ninja Turtles #1 is amazing, and it's worth $15,000. And hi, Fabi. And it's just not one that is attainable for me right now, because even on the low end, it's 1.2K, and I'm just not spending that much money on comics. I spend money on comics, but I like to get if I'm spending 1.2K, I like to get a lot of books, you know. Hello, the Steampunk Wordsmith. That's an amazing username, by the way. Moving on. I have this one in my collection. Fabi, I told everyone how awesome you are that you put all my books in my collection. So now I can see them. Oh, and I found out they do show up on, everything does show up on the web version. So we can use this. Right. First cameo appearance of the Beyonder as a white light and a voice. Right, so that's a cool one to have in my collection. I have this one. This is the first appearance of the Black Spider's costume, so it's like a pseudo first appearance of Venom, but you know, not really, because it wasn't supposed to be Venom at this point. It was just supposed to. Actually, I don't know if the writers even knew what the suit was going to turn out to be until Todd McFarlane came along and was like, "Oh, it's a symbiote, and it's going to be its own character. It's going to be this thing called Venom." Even that wasn't that well planned. This one I want to hunt for at the con for sure, because this is the first cameo appearance of John Constantine. I have another. Hold on, let me grab it. I have another cool Swamp Thing issue. Look what I pulled, Fabi. I pulled that one. Yeah, Greedent. So I have this Swamp Thing issue. This is I think Alan Moore hadn't come along yet in this issue, but this is the run that Alan Moore would eventually take over and do one of his legendary comic book runs, and then that's where John Constantine would show up for the first time. And there's the Demon. I decided to grab that at the same time, because this is one of my all-time favorite Jack Kirby covers, and it's from around the same era. So love those books. All right, moving on. Yeah, I want to hunt for this one. I love John Constantine as a character. This... I was reading this earlier. I don't know who any of these characters are, so have this one first. You know, this is a book right here, which I think should be worth more money. It's saying only $75 in high grade, and it's the first appearance of. It's not the first appearance of, obviously, of Dick Grayson, which is a huge book, but this is when he becomes Nightwing. You know, like this is a big moment for his character, and his freaking original costume looks so amazing. Make this even bigger. No, it's not getting any bigger. Hold on. Yeah, his original costume looks so awesome. And I wish I kept it longer. But anyway, yeah, I think this is a steal for $75. I think this could be worth, especially since Dick Grayson, I think, just because of, you know, how James Gunn is building this DC universe, we're gonna get like a live action Dick Grayson probably in the proper DCU that James Gunn is building. I'm sure he's such an important character. I'm sure he'll be in there somewhere. And we did have a live action Dick Grayson in the Titans show, but that was kind of like confined to the Titans. It didn't really have much crossover. So if we get like a proper Nightwing in the DCU that James Gunn is building, I think that this comic book right here is going to be worth more money, and I think it's a steal at $75. So that's just a cool book. Yeah, this one. Plus it's George Perez art. Plus it's part of the Judas Contract storyline. Like it's a cool book for a lot of reasons. Actually, if you know anything about the Teen Titans, like the Judas Contract is like their most famous Teen Titans story. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a book that's good to scoop up right now and get in your collection, and hopefully one day it'll be worth a lot more. This one I kind of want to pick up at the con because it's super cheap, $10 in high grade. I mean, that's awesome. And I could get this signed by Bob McLeod, who's there, and Chris Claremont. And it's the first appearance of a really cool character called Warlock. So, excuse me. In my current reading of New Mutants, I finished the first omnibus, and Warlock has come along, and he's a really cool character. Actually, let me show you. This character is like one of the most unique character designs in all of comics, I think. Oops, I got to do Warlock Marvel. If I can type. Here we go. So this is Warlock in Marvel Comics. He's like this technological alien, and you know, really good artists have done some really cool stuff with this character's design, and he can kind of suck the life out of things. And his first appearance, he kind of crashes down on Earth, and he's like kind of running away from another of his kind. But this is a really cool. The design of this character is really cool. Yeah, okay, there's Adam Warlock, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy right here. Oh my god, all these images are so small. Let's see this one. Yeah, he's just crazy looking. And the first artist that ever drew him did a really good job. I forget who the artist is on that. Oh yeah, it's Bob McLeod, I think, still on New Mutants. Yeah, there aren't that many pictures of him, but really cool character. And going back to this is that character's first appearance. So, I like this one to look for. This one I have in my collection. It's cool. I think this one like graded goes for. Let's actually see. Transformers 1. Transformers the 1. Let's just do 1 graded. Why doesn't eBay have a freaking dark mode? Every other modern website has a dark mode, except for eBay. A 9.0 for $289. A 9.9? What? I forgot that was actually a thing. 9.4 for $300. 9.6. Wow, it really goes up a lot. $500 for 9.6. Let's see what a 9.8 is. Hard to get. I mean, you know, these books get harder to have at a 9.8 when they're older. Oh wow, almost $1,200 for a 9.8 of that book. That's pretty awesome. I guess if you're a Transformers book, this is like the beginning. This is like the beginning of the Transformers in comic books, right? Was there a run before this? Before 84? I don't know if there was. So cool book. I have it in my collection. It is not a 9.8, but I am happy I have that one. Okay, here's one that. So first appearance of Usagi Yojimbo. I know people love this character. It's from the TMNT world. It's from Ninja Turtles, and people love this character. I mean, look how much this first appearance is worth. $9,500, or even in low grade $950. But I just don't. I don't have any personal experience reading this character, and I don't know. So I'm sure it's an amazing character. I just don't know why everyone loves him so much. But I know some people just absolutely go crazy for this character. This book I might buy this con. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I have the Heroes Con version of it. Let's see. What would that be? It was Avengers. If I go issue, and it was secret. Oh, it's not showing up here. Secret Wars. I don't know why it's not coming up. How's it going, Robert? We're looking at some comic books that I'm picking up at the convention that's coming up on Friday. Talking about some of the books that I have in my collection right now. And I'm just kind of getting ready for that. And talking about what I'm currently collecting, what I'm currently searching for. One second. All right. First appearance of Nimrod. Nimrod's a cool character. Nimrod was a big part of Jonathan Hickman's run of X-Men. Well, he was a kind of a major problem they had to deal with, because like Nimrod kept getting created and then kind of helping wipe out all the mutants. He's like really powerful and really hard to deal with. So that's cool, getting the first appearance of Nimrod. Again, I haven't read too many comics where Nimrod was a part of the comic books, so to me it doesn't. I don't know if I want to pick this book up, but it is a cool cover. I think who's the artist here? Let's close some of this crap. Oh, John Romita Jr. I mean, I love John Romita Jr. and this is a cool cover with Vision and Colossus. So maybe if I saw that and it was cheap, $9, I'd probably buy that. This is interesting. Todd McFarlane's first ever interior artwork was on this book. But is this how you spell coyote? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know that coyote was spelled like that. Coyote of the Heat. This is like such an obscure book, but I guess this is I mean, it's worth $85 just because it's the, Todd McFarlane's first ever art on a comic book, which I had no idea before I looked at this list. So that's kind of cool. I've never seen this book at a convention before. This one I have in my collection. It's right behind me. Where'd it go? It's right here. There's that. This is this is the first appearance of Blue Beetle. Oh, this is the first appearance of Blue Beetle. I didn't know that. And it's a wraparound cover. Oh, knocked into my camera here. There we go. And it's George Perez art, and mine's signed by George Perez, which is amazing because George Perez is one of my favorite creators of all time in comic books. So it's pretty awesome to have. It's only 9.0, but I love having like such an important part of comic history preserved like this. This is going to be, if I keep this, I could keep this to the end of my life, and it's going to stay in this condition the whole time. And hopefully the end of my life is a very, very long time from now. But who knows what this could be worth one day, 50 years from now. And this is like the most important comic book event to DC Comics, I think. So this is really cool, and I'm happy I have it in my collection. All right, this is the first appearance of Legion. Legion is a crazy character, man. He's super powerful. He's called Legion because he has so many I think he has DID, dissociative identity disorder. Is that what it's called? He has all these different personalities in his head, and he can't control them. And he's like a reality warper, I think. So it's the son of Professor Xavier, which is why he's such a strong mutant. So this is a really cool character, and it's a really, really cool idea. Chris Claremont, man, he came up with so many cool X-Men and so many cool ideas. Legion is awesome. So maybe I picked that one up, but maybe I would get that one for like mid-grade. I don't need that in super high quality. First public cover art by Todd McFarlane for $20. Now, this book doesn't have Todd McFarlane's iconic style on it. McFarlane cover. Well, I have that book behind me, but here's like an example of. Oh, look at that! This is showing all of his stuff. But you can see as he starts to move on with this, he starts to get more Todd McFarlane-y. Why can't I open? Here we go. Yeah. So this doesn't look like Todd McFarlane, but this is the first Todd McFarlane cover. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I picked that up because it's just a cool like conversation piece to have for $8. Silver Sable. I don't know why everyone loves Silver Sable, but I don't care. And here's the first appearance of John Constantine. So this one, this is like top priority for me to hunt for. I think this convention. Again, I have an earlier issue of this run right here, Swamp Thing, but this is during Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and this is the first full appearance, I believe, of John Constantine, otherwise known as Hellblazer, and okay, this is from September 2022 that they said Keanu Reeves was going to make the sequel to Constantine. I think there's been an update in that. I'm not sure if that's still going through. Oh man, it would suck, but because Constantine's such an awesome character, I hope he makes a second movie. What is this? First appearance of Nebula, daughter of Thanos. That's kind of cool. I don't care that much about Black Mask. I don't care that much about this character. This one I have in my collection. This cover gets homaged a lot. This George Perez cover of Superman carrying Supergirl there. Spoiler alert, she dies in this event. This, I need to read this because I get confused with what's going on with Superboy Prime in the comics. Like, where did he come from? A corrupted parallel universe version of Superman. First solo series featuring the Punisher. Who wrote this? Stephen Grant. I don't know. I don't know if this one's for me. What do we have here? First appearance of Nathan Summers, Cable, as a baby, son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor. So remember, Madeline Pryor is like kind of Jean Grey, but not. It's a complicated thing with her. I do like that this is short hair Mohawk Storm, which is pretty cool. I remember when she changes to this in the comics, and I was like, "Oh, that's dope. She looks awesome." So this is cool. Any you know, X-Men that's part of Chris Claremont's run, I like. First interior art by Jim Lee. Interior inks. Huh. Booster Gold. First appearance of Booster Gold. It's kind of cool. I have this book, right? Let's see. Dark Knight Returns 1. I have this. I have like several different collected editions of this run by Frank Miller. But that's not really what I'm searching for. Let's see what else do we have here. First interior art by Rob Liefeld. I'm not interested in that at all. Sorry, Rob Liefeld. I am a fan of some of your art, but not all of it. Because we all know about this. This. Wait. This infamous Rob Liefeld cover where I think there's something wrong. There's something wrong with Captain America here. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, have this one. Oh, this one isn't added, so I guess I'm gonna add it right now. I don't know where that is then. If it wasn't in these boxes, I don't know where it would be. But this is the first appearance of Apocalypse, which is great because he's on the cover. I say this a lot, but I love when a character's on the cover when it's his first appearance, and he is on this one. So I do have that one in my collection. This is an iconic cover by Mike Zeck. I don't know what the Test 1 is, but this is just a really cool cover from the 80s with Captain America and Wolverine. Now, I'm pretty sure Wolverine's claws would kind of be able to slice through Captain America's shield, right? Because it's vibranium versus adamantium. Watchmen 1. This, wow, actually, oh no, but this is when, this is from 1986. Premiere issue of the 12-issue series that explores the dark side of superheroes from a realistic, flawed perspective. I'm actually surprised this isn't worth more money. Watchmen 1, only $60. Like, I picked this up all day long. $15 for a mid-grade copy. This is like, I mean, this is one of the best runs of comics of all times, right? This is like Alan Moore's, writer Alan Moore. His Watchmen, which is like, people say is like the best, it may be one of the best superhero comics runs of all time. So that's pretty cool. I don't really care about that. Oh, this would be cool to get, and this is super cheap. This is a variant cover though. First international variant cover available from comic stores only. That's cool. And this is Man of Steel 1, which is a significant run because this is like the relaunch of Superman in the new DC universe, the new DC consolidated universe. So it's important, I think, to comics. It's important to DC at least. This one I have, First Battle of Wolverine and Sabretooth. This one's cool too. Wraparound cover by George Perez. I can never get enough George Perez art, and it's Wonder Woman by George Perez. Suicide Squad #1. Oh, Marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. My wife and I, when we got married. Wait, is that over here? My wife and I, when we got married, we bought a bunch of issues where the characters got married in them, and we put them up at our wedding. So like this was one of them. Batman and Catwoman, obviously the recent run by Tom King. It was just this, so no big deal. And then you have this one right here. This is the marriage of Cyclops and Jean Grey, Scott Summers and Jean Grey. So these are two examples of the comic books we got for our wedding. Again, where characters were getting married, and this was one of the ones that we got as well. All right, what else do we have here? First appearance of Mrs. Sinister. I really don't care about that character. First appearance of The Mask. I don't care about that character. Oh, first appearance of an origin of the cheetah. Oh, this is the third cheetah. That's kind of cool. Plus, this is part of George Perez's run, which is, you know, another like character defining run for Wonder Woman, kind of like that Man of Steel run for Superman. How's it going, Sergeant Frosty Man? Craven. All right, so Craven's Last Hunt. Sorry, part 5. I know everyone loves this Craven's Last Hunt story. Oh yeah, Mike's that cover. And it's Death of Craven the Hunter. Okay, that's interesting. Not for me, probably not gonna hunt for that in this con, but I do like that. I mean, I know that run is like kind of a big deal. I thought I had this book in my collection, but I guess not. Maybe I'd pick this book up for, you know, this is the premiere issue of John Constantine's first ongoing title series. I have the omnibus, the Hellblazer omnibus, that is really, really good. I haven't read it all yet, but there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. And, you know, the famous story where he's dying of lung cancer, and he, you know, hey man, I don't know if you've read Hellblazer by Garth Ennis, but it is really, really good. And that story where he has lung cancer and he figures out a way. Actually, I'm not going to spoil this, even though this is super old, because if anyone hasn't read this, but he figures out a way out of his lung cancer, and it has to do with various different demons. And at the end of the comic, after he's cured, he takes out a cigarette and smokes it, which is what Keanu Reeves does at the end of his Constantine movie. So they were very much inspired by the Garth Ennis story for that movie, and I just think it's really cool. So to have the first issue of Hellblazer, and this is obviously DC Vertigo, I think would be pretty cool. So maybe I'll look for this one at the con. This one I just haven't bought. I haven't bought this yet. I'll buy it eventually. It's not that expensive. It's really cool. I just feel like everybody has this book. I see it everywhere I go, you know. So it's like I'm not like worried I'm not gonna get my hands on this this comic book, that, you know, this famous Todd McFarlane Hulk cover with Wolverine. First cameo of Venom. One of the first appearances of Venom, I heard Todd McFarlane talking about it, and he's like, you see like a full panel and you see Venom's full body in the issue. I think it's $2.99, and how is that not a full appearance? And so, you know, they say that I guess Spider-Man 300, I guess it's a nice round number, that's the first appearance, because he's like in the whole issue. He's like fully revealed and part of the whole issue. But to me, a first appearance is like when you see fully the character. And so I would argue that $2.99 is actually the first appearance, but it doesn't matter because it's already like accepted by the comic book community that you know, Amazing Spider-Man 300 is the first appearance, so that one's always going to be the one that's more valuable. But maybe I will if I find this for the right price, I'll pick this up. I think that would be pretty cool. Plus it's just a cool Todd McFarlane cover. This one I have right behind me. Huh. Only $50 in high grade. I wonder how much this one is worth, like in a 9.8, which is what I have. $225 or best offer. It looks like about $200. That's gone up and down because I remember a time that was worth like $300. The Tick. This is funny. I've never read The Tick. I don't know anything about it. I know it's like comedy, and I know some people think it's really funny and really like this character. I don't know nothing about him, but this looks funny just looking at this. Okay, so here's the one. So it's right. So debatable first. Todd McFarlane explains in an interview that he considers the Amazing Spider-Man 299 the first full appearance of Venom, but various comic book resources changed it to Amazing Spider-Man 300. So I can pick this up for $45, and there's a panel in here. Hold on. No, Venom. I want Venom AMS 2. Yeah, this is okay. This is the panel right here. This panel is in $299. So explain to me how this is not the first appearance of Venom. I don't understand it, but whatever. I'll again, like AMS 300 is a comic book that I see a lot as well, and I do want to get in my collection. But if I don't get that, maybe I'll pick this one up. Excalibur. I know a lot of people really like Excalibur. I don't have a lot of experience reading this X-Men spinoff kind of, so this is cool, but not for me. Vampirella is another one I don't really know that much about. Also V for Vendetta. Yeah, so here's AMS. So, okay, aside from the fact that this is the first full appearance of Venom, according to everybody that decided that, it is an iconic cover. It's like one of Todd McFarlane's best covers, right? So in the 300s, all going across in the red, like this looks dope, like sitting on your shelf in a display and stuff. So it would be nice to pick this up. $180 mid grade. Like, I wonder what the graded ones are going for. So 6.0 is $382. Wow, look at that. The 9.6 is pretty up there. What's this one? Oh no, this is. No, this guy's never gonna sell for this much. That's not graded. 9.0, 8.5 is 1,000. 9.8, 2,700. Yeah. I'll probably get a raw copy of that one. Yeah, 298, right? Because you see like part of. I guess you see part of Venom in that, right? You don't see his full body, I think, in that one, if I'm right. But it is properly the character of Venom that shows up in one of the panels, right? So you could argue for that one as well. I have this one in my collection, debut of the Black Costume, and it's the first issue of his ongoing series. I like collecting first issues of ongoing series, like really famous ongoing series. I think it's pretty cool. Sandman 1. So I've read the first absolute of Sandman, and it was pretty cool. But I watched the show first, so I was like, okay, I need to read through Sandman so I can get past where the show is, because the show followed the Sandman show followed the comic like really closely. I was actually really surprised when I read it, and I think that's why it was so well received, and I think that's why the show was so good. Whenever these comic book shows stay close to the source material, they always do better. And part of the reason is because the fandom supports them, you know, and the fandom will tell other people that have never read the comic why it's so awesome, you know, and make other people like it. So when you stick close to the source material, which I hope is what James Gunn is doing, it seems like it just always turns out better. What else we got here? This is the death of Robin, the death of Jason Todd. So DC set up, this is interesting. DC set up a poll for readers to cast their vote on whether Jason Todd should survive the blast by calling one phone number or die by calling another. All right. Excuse me. So they set up a poll, and there were 10,614 phone calls which were made with Todd's death having been decided by only 72 votes. More than the opposite outcome where he would have survived. So by difference of 72 people out of tens of thousands of votes, Todd McFarlane died. But of course it's comic books, so he came back. What's my thoughts on multiple variants of new issues? I think it's gone a little too far. It's gone a little too far from modern comics. I think when variants first started coming around, like, I think it's a cool idea in general, right? Like, take a bunch of really cool comic book artists for like a new exciting issue that's coming out that everyone's going to buy, and like, let's get a bunch of variants for it. That's like a cool idea, you know, with like special art. But like now, you just feel obligated to spend more money. And don't get me wrong, there's still some cool variants that come out that I do buy because I'm like, wow, that's dope, I'm going to pick that up. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, every comic 2 or 3 variants. Like, I feel like let's make it a little bit more exclusive, and let's do it a little bit less often, and then the variants become more. They'll probably have more value, and I think they'll be cooler for the collectors. When it's every book, it's too much. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's probably a good way for like Marvel and DC to like kind of get newer artists work, you know, and test them out. I don't know if anything I just said is like actually true, but that's the way it would seem. First appearance of Jubilee, a Chinese American teenager with the ability to emit fireworks from her fingers. Was Jubilee one of those characters that was first in X-Men 97? And then they put her in the comics? Or yeah, foils. I'm a sucker for foils, man. A foil cover, I buy them. First cover appearance. I thought she was one of those characters that like came kind of out of the show. No, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, man. I have this X-Men. This one right here is a foil cover, and it's X-Men 300, and it's John Romita Jr. cover, and I have it signed by, who did I get this signed by? Oh, I got it just signed by John Romita Jr., which rookie mistake, because I could have got this signed by Chris Claremont as well. But you know, it with John Romita, and it ended up at 9.6. I got it at an antique place. I can't really hope for anything better than that. But yeah, I love this book. And this is like a book that I don't see like in every single person's collection. I mean, it's obviously not hard to find this book, but yeah, this is just a really cool foil cover, I think. All right, what else we got here? Hold on a second. Third appearance of Venom. This is the first full cover appearance. Oh, I was gonna look for this one at the convention on Friday, because you can get this for $30 in mid-grade, and it's his first cover, which is pretty cool. John Walker. Everybody hates John Walker. I like the actor who plays him in. I like the actor who plays John Walker in on Disney Plus or whatever in the movies. Oh, you have that. You have that X-Men cover. That's awesome. But let's be honest, no one likes that John Walker as a character. Oh, the Venom cover. Oh, okay. What is this? Wow, Tim Drake didn't come around. Oh, right. This is Tim Drake. Okay, so 1989. You learn stuff every day. I didn't even know this was the first appearance of Tim Drake. For only $15, that's pretty good. First published artwork on the X-Men title by Jim Lee. That's pretty cool. You can pick it up for only $10. I kind of like that. Oh, this first full team appearance of the New Warriors. So I actually do want to get this book in my collection because I like the New Warriors. I have 3 New Warriors omnibuses, and I've started reading the first one, and it's pretty good. And I know Omar from Near Mint Condition really likes New Warriors. Like, he hypes up New Warriors a lot, and I can see why. It's a pretty fun, like, 90s comic. This is their first appearance in '89, but really they're a '90s team, and it has Nova on the team and Speedball, which I think is such a freaking cool character. He like has these like different color bubbles coming off of him, and he can bounce off anything. Like he like maintains his kinetic energy and like bounces off all these surfaces and stuff, which I think is like a cool superpower. And Namorita, so that's Namor's sister, Thrasher, Marvel Boy. It's an interesting team, and the first appearance is in this Thor issue, which is pretty cool, and I can get it for $15. So like, why not? That's a great one. I mean, I hope they would do a New Warriors in Marvel eventually, but you know, Marvel really needs to step their game up if they're going to start making like New Warriors movies. They really got to get people's interest back. First appearance of Cable. Yeah, I definitely want to hunt for this one at the con, because this isn't too expensive, and Cable's a cool character, and this is a really cool cover. What's the creative team here? The cover artist. Oh, it's Rob. Of course, it's Rob Liefeld. This is New Mutants, and this is in the '90s, right? So Rob Liefeld. Oh, but it says Todd McFarlane as well as the cover artist. So I don't know. It says Liefeld. Oh wow, it actually says Liefeld and McFarlane on the bottom there. So I don't know if one of them inked and one of them penciled, or if they both did both. So this one, I'm going to get signed. The red cover is worth more. Okay, hold on. There's variants here. So what are the variants? Okay, that's a newsstand. Mark Jewelers. Oh, and here's the gold print. All right, so this is the second printing. So that's good to know. Oh, you have the gold one. Okay. Still cool to have. And this came out in 1990. So what? Is that the same year? Oh, wow. And what is Mark Jewelers? I see this all the time. Mark Jewelers variant. What is that? What is that? And it's worth more. And I don't even know how do you even tell the two apart? It must be is it from the interior, or is it from the price? Like, what's the difference between how would you even tell that these are one's the Mark Jewelers copy? Yeah, I don't know either. All right. Almost done here. Ghost Rider. I have this book. I'm going to get it signed by Howard Mackey on Friday. Excited for that. I have to look at my copy. If it's high enough, if it's in good enough condition, I may get it graded. Maybe I'll get it graded even if it's not like in super amazing condition, just to have like this book graded. And I've been reading this Johnny Ketch Ghost Rider run, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And the Punisher just showed up in the issues that I'm reading, and it's 90s, which is like some of my favorite, like maybe my favorite era of comics. It got a little darker and stuff in the 90s, and like what they were allowed to put in the comic books, you know. And I'm I'm gonna get it signed, and this is gonna be an awesome addition to my collection. I already have it, so if I look at, I may look at mine later tonight. If it's not in like really great condition, maybe I'll hunt for like a high grade one at the con and try to get one, like maybe try to hunt for a 9.8 of that one or a 9.6. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know what ends up with that one. First Gambit. This is all right. This is the debatable one, but let's be honest. Everybody wants this one. Second appearance and first cover of Gambit. That one's worth 150. This one is worth 50. But this is one that I definitely want to get in my collection, and for the right price, I would get a mid-grade copy for $50. I think that's probably what I look for. Also, Storm's here, which is one of my favorite X-Men, so that's kind of cool. Famous Jim Lee X-Men cover. What else do we have here? Debut of the Infinity Gauntlet. Ooh, I like that a lot. And plus, this is Jim Starlin, I believe, this the artist on this cover. And he's a great artist, and he's going to be at the con too. Ooh, that would be cool to get this book signed by Jim Starlin. Which one is that? Which one do you have on your wall there? Oh, the Gambit. Yeah, that's for sure a wall book. Yeah, definitely. People love that character, and now I wonder if the prices of this book has gone up since Channing Tatum took up the role. And I think he did a good job in that. Well, you know, he really likes the character, you know, so I think he did a good job, except for his accent wasn't, you know, absolutely amazing. But yeah, this is definitely a wall book. If I get this in my collection, it's going on my wall over there. Which, by the way, I've never tried to do this, but let me see something. Hold on. Look, I took some down, but I'm building up this wall of comics, so it's 2 rows right now. But I'm gonna be putting a row above and below that, and putting wall books on there. Oh yeah, Sergeant Frostbeam. Want to see something cool? I'm gonna show you my omnibus collection. Check this out. Hold on. Just gotta do this. All right. All right, here we go. Come on a journey with me. And there's and then there's these over here. It's not full yet. This is all Marvel here. And then over here we have DC. And we also have some McFarlane toys here. Hold on. My monitor was trying to make a break for it. Okay, there we go. All right, we're back. Yeah, you like that little switch to the phone that I got set up there? That's only the second time I've done that, and I think it works pretty well. But yeah, that's my loft in this house I just moved into, and boy, was it a man! It was hard to get all those books up those stairs. They are freaking heavy. Books are heavy, especially omnibuses, and me and my brother spent a long time just sweating carrying up step by step boxes full of those books, because you don't want to do them one at a time, because I have hundreds. So you put them in I put them in a comic book box, which they're a little bit too tall for. Yes, I do have a wife, and she, it's funny. Like a lot of people ask me that question when they see my comic book, my omnibus collection. Yeah, I know. And they're like, no way does he have that omnibus collection and have a wife. Yeah, she's amazing, actually. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here today, and I'm going to go watch the Panthers game. But thanks for coming in and hanging out, Frosty Man and stuff, and anyone else that came in. And if you're watching the VOD and everything, leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of what subjects you want to talk about, want me to talk about, what questions you have on comic books that I can answer. And I really appreciate it if you like and subscribe.